Am I betraying the Harley heritage? Oh, what a conundrum.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series. Please like, share, subscribe, leave loads of comments below, and check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com, and the Harley Parley page there as well, all latest info. Right, especially on the Softails and the Sport Glide. Right, so, look, in this video I'm talking about Harley heritage and whether the new motorcycle, the new Harley motorcycles, are abandoning the roots too much. They're betraying what was before. There was lots of waving of arms and protestations when Harley decided to come out with this new engine, the M8 engine, the Milwaukee 8 engine, and for the Softail region, and you know, for some of the tourists as well. Lots were saying, no, what are you doing? You can't do that, you can't do that. What about our beloved Dyna engines? The problem is that any time there's an evolution or progress, there are always going to be those that don't want change or fear change. And any time there is evolution and a change in design, there are always going to be teething problems. So whatever it is, you know, you'll have the Milwaukee 8 engine haters out there, but at the same time, whatever they're riding now, let's say a Dyna, they probably had the same remarks about them when they first came out. So it's a kind of a natural thing for this to happen, I think. But also I think sometimes people get, you know, all hell bent out of shape on this whole kind of, this history, this heritage of the Harley Davidson. I don't think it's abandoning it at all. I think actually it's got a good grasp of the heritage of what it had before. But I think it's moving with the times. Or let's say it's adopting some of the newer technology, the newer lifestyle trends, if you like, and it's thought to incorporate those into their machines, their bikes, their models, and that goes, you know, with the engineering, the electronics, so on and so forth. It's an interesting question, I think, and it's one that disturbs a lot of people. Now, there's no doubt that Harley Davidson have had to evolve, and they've also lost a lot of support from their original Harley fans, if you like, their fan base. Bikes got a lot more expensive. Bikes got attracted different types of riders, which a lot of people didn't like. Maybe weekend warriors, you know, the wild hog crowd, whatever it is. I mean, you know, for me it doesn't really matter. You know, you ride a bike, you ride a bike, as simple as that. I mean, that's all I care about. And I actually don't care what you ride either, you know, it's never really been an issue to me. And you know, if you watch my channel, you'll know that as well. But I think some people really get, you know, het up about this sort of stuff. And it's not without justification, I think. Sometimes, you know, big manufacturers, big corporate conglomerates, they kind of forget the customer sometimes, and they forget where it all started and how the company grew because of the love and support from that fan base. And when that fan base feels that it's being betrayed in some way, you know, because those riders from years ago could have easily swapped and gone to manufacturers with better technology, let's say. You know, the Japanese manufacturers, but they didn't. They stayed out of loyalty, out of patriotism, you know, all these kind of things, you know, they stayed. And when things, you know, when the company changes direction, let's say, the models change, sometimes people can feel really aggrieved by it. And I think, you know, there is the old school, as it were. I mean, they're really old school guys, and don't want to be rude about this, but they're coming to the end of their term. It's a natural thing. And, you know, those older guys are very rarely going to be buying new bikes anyway. You know, that isn't the market. The market isn't for old guys to be buying new bikes. In fact, the older we get, let's face it, I'm the same. You know, I like my old stuff as well. You know, I kind of tend to fear a bit of change. I'm a bit of a Luddite at times. I don't particularly like everything all modern. But at the same time, I appreciate there's got to be an evolution as well. So I like old technology, I like new bikes. If I'm building an old bike or, you know, making a custom bike, I would tend to make it from old technology. Well, there are a couple of reasons why I would do that, and I'll explain. First of all, it's down to my own limited capability and knowledge, because really all this modern electronics and stuff, I just don't know. Unless you're a NASA space scientist, I have no idea how an ECM works, and you need a degree, you know, a postgraduate degree in computer science to be able to work all that out. All the algorithms, all the AND and NAND gates and all that sort of stuff. I have no idea. And, you know, I dare say that many of you don't understand it either. So that's why a lot of these new technology, these new bikes, you know, they have to be hooked up to diagnostic machines to be able to read what the problem is, because mere mortals can't read it, can't understand it. You physically cannot figure these things out. That's why a lot of technicians, a lot of mechanics now are not the same breed as they once were many years ago, where it is a mechanical thing, they could fix it. Now it's more of they're fitters, they replace things. That's not a slight on you know, modern day mechanics or technicians. That's basically just common sense, really. You know, you're not going to be fixing something, you know, taking something apart, fixing it, when it's cheaper and more economical or more efficient just to put a new part on it. You know, so it's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those things where, you know, you think, oh, the modern technology, oh, it's not like it used to be, and you kind of tend to look back at these things with rose-tinted spectacles. And I think what you've got to do is just embrace what was and remember everything what was with fondness, and keep those old bikes going and the old technology going, but use the new technology to your advantage. And not all new technology is bad. Not all new technology ruins the riding experience. You know, one of the big complaints of Harley bikes from non-Harley riders before was that it was just vibrated all the time. It's just horrible vibrations. With the new Milwaukee 8 engines that came out a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, whatever it was, you know, a lot of that vibration was cancelled out by its design. Yes, they still vibrate, of course they do. They're not as smooth as 4-cylinder engines, Japanese engines, let's say, or 3-cylinder British engines, but they are a lot smoother. Their technology is, you know, changed as well. You've heard me on previous videos when talking about, you know, the modern Harleys are very technologically advanced, but people still have the perception that they're not. But what Harley do is that they marry older technology, older designs with newer designs, and they get the older designs, they keep on improving or slightly modifying those older designs, let's say with the V-twin engine. So, you know, I don't think there is a betrayal of the heritage. In fact, I think there's a very strong nod to the heritage. I think there's a very strong link to the heritage of Harley Davidson. But obviously it's evolving and it's moving. If there wasn't such a big nod to the past, then, you know, Harley would not be making their electric motorcycle, all these new engines, these, you know, that they're going to be coming out with. but still having the aesthetics and the feel, the rideability, the riding experience as they once were. In many ways, the design will be that they'll start incorporating artificial feel, artificial force feel on the bikes, so that you kind of get that ride experience, or you think you're sensing that ride experience, but you're not actually. And this has happened in other industries, other engineering industries. Aviation industries is a big one, that artificial sensations are purposely felt to give that old experience, or that older experience sometimes. And that's where we're at with Harley Davidson. Lots of people have moved away from Harley. They've wanted to go maybe to other brands. Maybe they want to go to Indian, for example. There was already a bleed away from Harley for many years. Many went back to British bikes, the Triumphs, a little bit of Norton. Obviously the Japanese, the Italians, the Germans. But depending on where you are in the world, you know, you've got to take the biggest market share, and that'll be the United States. The biggest market share is going to be Harley Davidson. But the demographics are changing, and the bike ownership is changing, and also Harley as a company have recognized that. So that is one thing that you could say, that they have abandoned their traditional roots, in that they are not stuck in the mud. They are not just saying, hey, we are Harley Davidson, like our bikes or lump it. No, they actually recognise, no, we've got to do something about this. We've got to change the way we are and the way our bikes are and who we're attracting, because nobody lasts forever. Our customers will not live forever. In fact, our older customers would kind of stay to the older bikes, and we still got to service their needs, but we need to think of the next generation. And that's what it is when it comes to any manufacturer, whether it's Suzuki, Kawasaki, Ducati, Triumph, Norton, whatever it is. Okay, the reason why any manufacturer will die, and we have had this in the British motorcycle industry, you know, back in the day, back in the 60s, when we, you know, the late 60s, when the Japanese started coming over, the reason why they died was because they didn't evolve. They thought, we are British, we're better than that. And the fact is, they just weren't. And if you want Harley Davidson to die, for a company to go bankrupt, to liquidate, whatever term you want to use, then you got to be one of those people who does not want Harley to change. That's it. That's about as much as I can say. The only way Harley Davidson will survive, only way any motorcycle manufacturer is going to survive, is by doing something very simply, and that is very simply just to move with the times. They have to move with the times, otherwise it will just not work. So I don't think there's a betrayal of the heritage. I think there's an easing, a relaxation of that heritage, but there's still a big nod. They still have one foot firmly in the past, and they're fusing those old traditions with the new traditions. But anyway, look, that's my opinion, and there's obviously lots of issues covered in this, but let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that Harley has moved away too much. Do you think the older crowd, the older biking crowd, have just got completely fed up with Harley and that's it? It'll never come back to where it once was. Let me know. You know, please leave comments. Please like, share, subscribe, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. As I say, you know, with the Harley Parley page on there, I'm actually developing a faults and fixes list for the Sport Glide, and also all the tyre specifications for all the Softail models, and all decoded and explained are on there as well. But go check that out. Anyway, catch you on the next video, whenever that is. And well, I hope you enjoyed this one. A good topic for discussion on a sunny day. Bit cold, I've got to say, but It's a sunny day and I'm riding my Harley, riding my sport guide, and I'm loving life. Catch you on the next one. Ta-da!
RevelatorAlf.